I'll tell you.
Testing.
Testing.
Oh.
No, don't test any longer.
No.
I'll tell you the worst job I ever had.
What was that?
The worst job I ever had was with Jane Mansfield. You know, she's a fantastic bird, you know, big tits, huge bum and everything like that. But I had the terrible job of retrieving lobsters from her bum.
Really? Bloody hell, that must have been a task.
Well, it's quite a task, because she had a big bum and they were big lobsters.
I remember she had a huge bum.
Well, she had one, and, you know, presumably in the afterlife, shut up, she still has one. But I used to go round, you know, of an evening, when Jane was sleeping, or sort of comatose, like, you know, just lying there.
Comatose. Comatose to her head.
Comatose to her head. Shut up. And I had to retrieve these lobsters from her arsehole.
Yeah, well, I remember she had a lot of trouble with lobsters up her arsehole.
Well, you see, the lobsters...
Basically, she suffered from what was known in the medical trade as lobsters up the arsehole.
Well, this is what it said scientifically, you know, lobsters up the bum, you know. This is a scientific term for it. But, you know, in general terms, it is known as Lobsterissimus bumbacissimus.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was my job every evening to go round to Jane, who was a sweet girl.
Yeah.
Sweet, charming, shy, mysterious girl.
Yeah.
And get these fucking lobsters out of her arsehole.
Yeah.
Which is so tricky because she was a very sensitive woman, you know.
Yeah,
yeah. I used to go round there every evening, and these lobsters, you know, she used to go out bathing in Malibu.
Yeah.
Which is where she used to go out bathing, you know.
Oh, Malibu, yeah.
Malibu, yes. Malibu de Bum Bum. And up went the lobsters, boing, straight up her arsehole.
Well, I think she brought it on herself, really, didn't she?
Not so much brought them on herself, as so much encouraged them, you know, by the flagrant display which she got up to.
Well, I think she was a dirty car.
Well,
I mean, being...
No, be fair. Be fair. You can call her a dirty cow, but let's face it, a lot of lobsters fancied her bum.
Yeah, well, I think, let's face it, I think it was a 50-50 arrangement.
The lobsters didn't say, we have the upper hand.
No.
Jane didn't say, we have the upper hand.
There was no feeling of domination.
No, it was a 50-50 thing.
I think the lobsters got quite a nip out of it.
Yeah.
And I think Jane got a lot out of it.
Yeah, but it was my job. My job to retrieve the lobsters from her bum after the event.
What event?
Post hocta proc.
But post what?
Post hocta prompt.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is in Latin, you know.
What?
Getting lobsters out of people's bums.
Oh, post hocta prompt, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when...
but she was a sweet girl and I wouldn't knock her.
Well, I gather you wouldn't, no.
No, I gather I wouldn't.